You excited?
Well, I ought to be.
Yes, you should be.
We've got a van that has power and spinning parts. Now we just need to add more spinning parts. This isn't a spinning part. This is a squishing part. But, you know.
There are spinning parts that we will be interacting with today, so stay tuned. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more spinning parts on this channel. We are the spinning parts channel. So, hit the bell if you're into spinning parts.
Hashtag spinning parts. I think we should just...
Okay, take 5.
We're ahead. Howdy ho, neighbors. Stole your line.
Yeah. It's your good buddies on the internet, Boys in Blue, Zach and Christopher.
We're building a Tesla powered Vanagon.
Yep, 2 guys in a garage in a Vanagon. That's us.
Cricket. Can you? We haven't been drinking, I swear.
Well, you know, some takes. You know, the thing about the 6th take is that it's usually been down. You've already kind of crested the goodness, right? Like 4 and 5 are like solid, usually solid takes. 6th take is downhill. 7th take is equally downhill, but the 8th take, it really turns the corner.
Well, let's just keep trucking and we'll get there. Because we're already on 7.
Here's some things going in. We don't usually use these overhead shots, but, you know, here's one for the books. I got tools staged up over here. And a torque wrench, which is going to be fun. I love using a torque wrench because you get to mark it with paint afterwards. Tell us what your particular favorite part about a torque wrench is, Zach?
It goes click, 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 click.
Exploded view.
Start with the steering rack?
Yeah. Start with the steering rack.
Alright, let's put on a steering rack. A freshly rebuilt and not polished, but cleaned steering rack.
Wow. So bushing snot is like a silicone lubrication. And it's different than the PowerFlex assembly grease that comes with the package in that it sticks harder and longer. This is a little bit less viscous.
Yep.
All of our joints on the van are polyurethane made by PowerFlex. And so all of the joints, all of these consumables, all of these bushings are going to get the same lube treatment, including the steering rack. So that'll give us a nice tight steering feel. We need anti-seize on there, don't forget that. Vanagon Adventures. Alright, pro tip. Take some tape, make sure it's long enough. Wrap it around the bump stop.
Make sure that your stuff's in frame.
Well, it's not a bump stop, is it? This is a spring pad, spring perch. This tip comes to us from the last mechanic that worked on these springs in this Vanagon. In the hole, okay.
Let me know when you're ready to go up. Okay, I'm ready to go up. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Okay, stack a couple blocks. Here, big one. Okay. What thing?
The bump stop.
Oh. Okay. Got a nut on it?
Yep.
Okay.
Everywhere this is going to come in contact with something that's going to squish up against, that's where you put it. It's going to squish up against some sheet metal, you stick it up against the sheet metal. It's going to squish up a bolt, you squish up next to the bolt. Schmoo goes everywhere. Schmoo's your friend. Okay, got it. Thank you. Jeez. Louise.
Alright, after some struggling and maybe some cursing, actually a little bit of struggling and a lot of cursing, the shock and spring are in place. Alright, it's time to put on the stabilizing rods with their bushings. For some reason we started calling them gooch rods.
The gooch bolt is right here. This in this area where everything joins. That's the gooch bolt.
Okay.
Then you got your gooch rod.
There you go. And so there you go. Gooch rod. Anyway, that's what we're doing now. Alright, I got my nut started. Click, clack, click, clack, click, clack. There it is. There it is.
Spindle. Okay. What do you guys think of that? Huh? That's a spindle. Replacement spindle. First one was jacked. Andy, not Kenny, sent this to us. So thanks, Andy.
Andy.
Kenny is not his name. Andy is not his game.
Okay.
That looks like a thing, Zach.
It does indeed. Okay, everybody. Today is a day. Today, we've got to hustle. But if we hustle, we're gonna have this thing up and running today. First test drive at the end of this day. But we got a lot to do. Brakes. Got to put the bearings in, put the rotors on, fill and bleed the whole system, get those ready to go. We still have to put our fluid in the Tesla drive unit. So the unit and the differential and stuff's all kind of built in. Anyway, it needs to be filled with fluid before we really get this thing going. The battery box. Say hello to the battery box. Hello, battery box. It's down there. Lid's got to go on. We're going to RTV silicone that lid on, get it nice and watertight, get everything ready there. Then we have to get it under the car. That's a big deal. That sucker is heavy. So we're gonna have to jack it up slow and get it in place. So, almost fell off the thing. Got a lot to do today, but we're gonna hustle and get it done. And by Jove, first test drive. I'm getting more excited as the morning goes on. All right, stick around. All right, pressing in the bearing race. Like magic. It's in.
begin.
You know, Christopher, always gotta get more schmoo in there. So,
Always gotta get more schmoo. Schmoo. Always gotta get more schmoo. Always gotta get more schmoo. Schmoo. Always gotta get more schmoo. Look at me now with my shoe on the snake. Look at me now with my shoe on the snake.
I don't know what's happening.
That was the start of like a Japanese like rock, kind of like a kind of like a electrotechnic kind of.
Your seal just ejected itself. Is in place, bearings are in place, race is in the front there. On the spindle it goes. Oh, so buttery smooth. Get your little schmoo in there.
This is the trick. who'sonthetrick.com. If you've seen any Vanagon front end rebuilding videos, you know this trick, but for Zach's sake, and for anybody who doesn't, we'll tighten this guy up until he's happy.
We don't have a wrench the correct size for that?
Do you got a 26? I don't.
Well.
You tighten him up until he's happy, until he feels like he's about to. Then you back him up and you find your spot. And then what you do is you take your screwdriver and you do your very best to move this washer. And if you can move it still, but ever so barely, that nut's at the right tension. But if you can't move it, it's too tight. With the screwdriver, that's the tip. You're using a screwdriver. And it's still, you know, got a little bit to go. All right, that's us, I think. Now, I guess it all is kind of dependent on how strong you are and how tight of a washer you can move around. So we'll let Zach do them both up to the same tightness because he's got stronger muscles.
Dinging the donger. Do 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 ding.
The donger.
Boom! Not coming off. Once again, Christopher and his schmoo. Always a little more schmoo. Oh, we can get a little more schmoo in there.
All right, which one? Loose or tight?
Loose.
Loose.
Tight.
Tight.
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 Loose.
Loose.
Tight.
Tight. Got a little fluid.
Loose.
Loose.
Tight.
Tight.
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 Loose.
Loose.
Tight.
Okay, I feel like I'm happy with that. Pretty consistent.
Tight.
Yeah, it's tight. All right, Zach is the resident pro at handling tubes of caulk. So he's gonna take top lead and show us how it's done.
Thanks, buddy. It feels good to be recognized for my caulking expertise.
We got acetone wipes in a container, and we got wipes to clean up any sort of messes. We need dramatic music when we go to raising this box up. You know, like Jurassic Park shit, you know?
Yeah, like Darth Maul fight scene shit.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, we're good.
Oh, you want one?
We do.
There you go.
Have a tool. The lid is on. What you see Christopher doing is just making up a couple of spacers. We've mentioned them in past videos, but they didn't get talked about a lot. I don't know if anybody remembers this handy dandy little invention. But it's a plumb bob for lining up our bolt holes before we stick it in place and then start jacking it up. Alright. First few blocks going under the box here. So I keep pumping a little and then checking. The bolt we had screwed in and put a string through as a plumb bob. I now just took the string out and I'm using it as an aligning pin. So the hole will actually slip over that at one at each corner, and then we can put the other bolts in, take those out, and put the other bolts in their place. And it's working swimmingly. See that? See that? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, battery pack in place. I think we're going to plug everything up, fill the diff with fluid, do another test run on stands, and then put her on her wheels. Oh my gosh, she's going to be back on her wheels again.
Drill through here, but I don't think I can from the backside down here.
You alright? Everybody alright? Yeah. Yeah. Alright, you ready?
Yep.
Okay. Over it.
Gotta come your way a little bit.
Well, it'd be easier if this big steering wheel wasn't in the way. I'm freaking hungry. Maybe we get something to eat.
Maybe. Maybe, assuming everything looks amazing.
Oh. Here's our man Christopher putting in our dash. And while he's doing that, I think I'm going to go take the rear end off the jack stands. This is it. She's going on her own wheels for the first time in, oh Lord have mercy, a long time.
It's a lie.
Is it down?
She's down. Oh, she looks so low. That's what happens when she's been on jack stands for... Oh my gosh. She looks so low.
Man.
Barely.
Okay.
Oh man. Ah! Ah! It's going, Christopher!
Everybody get in! Everybody get in!
Slam it.
Oh my gosh.
You got it?
Right.
Yep. Is the GoPro going? Yeah. Recording. Watch on this butternut. Are we gonna drop down to Robert Name? They're probably already gone. You got it.
It's so quiet. I love it. I love everything about it. Oh my gosh. Look, I know how.
Okay.
We'll put your seatbelt on. Who's that car?
It's so quiet.
Alright, guys.
Go, turn right. Turn right.
Turn right.
Turn right. What's going on? Nothing's happening.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
Yeah. It's just not got any juice. All right. Welcome to our new shop. So the van was in limp mode, limping around. We were going to get it back in the shop, but now it won't move at all. So we've got our office set up. Hey look, it's me. Hi. So yeah, we're gonna get on some internets and get on the iPad and talk to some people and figure out why everything is in limp mode. Yeah.
Or we could just pause. I just thought.
So we checked the ohms. We checked the ohms in the.
We checked the ohms in the old.
We checked the
CAN
ohms
bus
in the
A.
CAN bus system A.
Too much resist. Too little resistance.
Too much resistance.
Too much.
Well, we had an extra resistor.
If you add an extra resistor, it gives more places for the electricity to flow, which is less resistance overall.
Man,
Which is why you go from 120 to 60 to 40.
this stuff will get your brain tied in knots pretty quick. Well, anyway, we had an extra resistor in the system. We were getting 40 ohms in our CAN system, and we should be getting 60. So what we did was we just pulled off the resistor that we had installed in the CAN system, one of them, and we got the correct ohm reading of 60. And now we are trying to reflash now that the ohms are right within the CAN system and see what happens. That's where we're at.
This episode is sponsored by Rappel with Deet. Stay safe out there, friends.
Break. Alright, here's the case. It goes into fail-safe mode about 5 seconds after it starts. Jackson, I'll see if you can back it up like a bat out of hell. Do it again. Same thing. Ta-da!
Back in the shop, pinched in like days of old. I don't know what to say.
Okay, Zach, this is the video prompt.
We are currently being eaten alive by mosquitoes. We are currently running for our lives and trying to debug the situation that is our electric vehicle. The only safety is exactly 68 miles away in Murfreesboro, where they have a mosquito research facility, and we're desperately trying to get the van together. Okay, why is it not working, Zach?
We don't have a heat exchanging system for the motor.
Oh no, we're gonna be eaten alive by mosquitoes. Oh no. Well, we're here, guys. We did it. I feel like we're at the end of a long hiking trip, and we just made it into camp, and we took off our big old smelly boots, and you could just look at the view across the mountain. And even though it stinks just a little bit of foot funk, everything's okay.
That's not a bad analogy, because we still have the hike out tomorrow morning, which is actually finishing.
Yeah,
because we're not.
Yeah, here's the hike out right here. Look at that list. Can you see that? Boom.
And yeah, so we have yet to drive the van under full power. Oh, and I want to so badly. It's gonna be exciting.
We're close. We are very close. We're missing two very important things. One being a new brake valve. The old one is designed for drum brakes, and it's sticking with the disc brakes, so we gotta swap some business out. And the second being a coolant system. Ever so small one.
Yeah, so you remember we had a head unit that did not work, and we sent it back, and then we had to get the updated model of that same head unit. We believe that the original head unit had allowances for not running a cooling system. So with our setup in city driving and whatnot, we don't think a cooling system is necessary. And we were told that by people who've been doing this a long time. So we were planning on not running a cooling system. The head unit didn't work. We got a new head unit. We had some troubles. We called them. It's in limp mode. And they said, you have to have a cooling loop. So we have to have a cooling loop. Shouldn't be too difficult. And we'll explain it all next episode.
I mean, it's just water, right?
And glycol.
Running a circuit with a pump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much we need a pump and a reservoir and a little bit of 12 volt and we're good to go.
It's just like electricity, except for you get wet instead of electrocuted.
So we have to do that back there.
Yeah.
Very small one.
Yeah, and then we'll be cruising down the road to Dairy Queen. It'll be amazing. Get that tall one with the swirl dipped into chocolate.
And he'll get that, and then we'll get back in the van and drive to Jenny's Ice Cream, where I'll get something like kale, banana, cream, something.
I bet you they sell that. Okay, guys. Well, until next time, this is Christopher and Zach, your good buddies in blue,
Saying,
saying
be good people.
be good people.